Why are we inspired by bad things? Odd question to ask, but that's how it starts out. We do celebrate overcoming adversity, but we have to have the adversity first in order to overcome it. Let's talk about that. Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Ann Homick from Homick Advanced Chiropractic, and this is Brain Snob, episode number 47. I want everybody to be a brain snob. Being a brain snob is not an insult, it's a high compliment. It means you know a great deal about the brain so you can give yourself amazing life experiences. Because a burdened brain is lost talent, not to mention a disease magnet. But we need your talent and we need your full participation in the world. And a performing brain can change the world. So, when you come to the office, get your BFA template and the roadmap for the healing journey. What is BFA? It is brain first always. It's the approach I incorporate into chiropractic care so you get the best brain benefits all at one place. That's pretty handy. Your brain makes your body, now you make your life. So let's talk about being inspired by bad things and celebrating the overcoming of the adversity. And I'm going to go back to childhood and talk about a memory I had with my grandma. My grandma, she lived with us in 10th grade, my 10th grade. She had a stroke and had to come live with us. She had a ton of pills, a bag full, grocery bag full of pills. And my dad took them out and said, Lisa, put them in order. Organize it. So we are giving her the right medicine at an appropriate time of the day. In a way, we all know where we're at, so we're all on the same page, and nobody is giving her the wrong medicine at the wrong time. Because in our household, a bunch of us were coming and going, and whoever was around could do that. So I made a schedule with a piece of paper and a ruler, making lots of lines and a check off. Everybody checks off. If you gave Grandma a certain pill at a certain time, check it off, and it was on the refrigerator. All these pills, there were so many of them. I looked at, let's see, there's a pill when you wake up, a pill at breakfast, a pill at lunch, a pill after lunch, a pill before dinner, before bed. And she had a pill almost every hour of her day. She might have had a little break between lunch and dinner, but she was always taking a pill. For me, I looked at that and I said, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. For one, I didn't see her getting better. And we knew she was older and degenerating. We knew that. But I don't even recall if it gave her even peace of mind, gave her relaxation. She was degenerating. And being at that young age, that's the impression. I had no other worldly experience to compare it to, and in my mind, I said, no, this is not the way I want to live my life. This is unacceptable to me. So that stuck in my mind. That's unacceptable, and I don't want to live that way. So later on, after college, after a few years of, it took me a while to realize I wanted to get into a healing profession and help people. But the seed was planted back then. It was in the back of my mind. But in high school, I wasn't really focusing on that. I was interested in my drama club and my music and my singing and acting, and that's what I was focusing on. And later on, when reality of life set in, I finally realized there was more of a mission, a purpose in my being to bring more help to people as far as their health. It took me a while, but we all have to live our purpose. We have to discover our mission. We have to take ownership of it and do that. So for me, that memory of my grandma's health and those pills, you're a slave to pills. And I said, oh my gosh, this is not acceptable. So I studied fitness, studied nutrition. Of course, I studied chiropractic when I eventually discovered through experience what chiropractic was all about. So the thing about the memory of my grandma is I was too young to help her. I was too young to understand what her whole life was like because, of course, when I was born, she was in her 60s, and by the time I'm seeing how the world really is, I couldn't help her. She passed away when I was in college. And, you love somebody so much. And when you feel helpless, that leaves an impression on you. And I felt helpless. Of course, everybody else in my family felt helpless. And I know looking back, she had brain impairment. She had all the factors, all the examples that I talk about of brain impairment. And it just kept worsening and worsening because we weren't addressing brain impairment. So my focus, of course, is brain first always. And I just lost my train of thought because I'm trying to think too quickly and come out with my next sentence. But she had brain impairment. I didn't know it back then. I'm focusing on it now because we can take steps to help ourselves. And just knowing that helpless feeling, there's my train of thought back again. When we feel helpless, it becomes a learned helplessness, and that becomes rewired in the brain as part of neuroplasticity. So the limbic system kicks in. The limbic system is in the back. You've got your prefrontal cortex in the front, and if you're unable to make good decisions because you're already stressed out and your prefrontal cortex is deprived of oxygen, then that learned helplessness kind of grows. It's cultivated within you, and we don't make healthy decisions. And a lot of our survival mechanism is based on the emotional response to stimuli. And so I'm going way out there, aren't I? Can you keep up with me? But I don't want that learned helplessness to be ingrained in people. And it takes a little bit of re-educating yourself. Maybe not re-educating yourself like you're brainwashing, but learning new ways to cope with stress, learning new ways to actually move your brain, feed your brain, and talk to your brain. These are the 3 doorways of steps to get you into a state where your brain is functioning so well that you're having those amazing life experiences. So, and a lot of people who do overcome adversity, they have a great story to tell. I just don't like to have people suffer. Why should we go through suffering first before we get better? Sometimes I feel like we are in the generation repair because now we do have better information. We know how to do healthier things for ourselves, and the big thing is stress management and understanding how stress affects the body. So a lot of us are in catch-up mode because, well, we didn't know a whole lot decades ago. The things we were doing were not helping us. Maybe they were damaging us. And typically, when we're in our 20s and 30s, we feel immortal. We're like, oh, nothing's going to hurt me. I'm going. I've got the energy because your body's tolerating it and able to overcome because you still have that resiliency. And then we hit a stage where we are now generation repair. We're trying to undo the damage. We're almost hoping we can go back in time. Sometimes we can because you can get that resiliency back. You can bump it up with brain first always approaches. And so now a whole lot of us are in that stage of better education, better information, and maybe more time in order to do this because, yeah, when we're younger, we just throw ourselves into our work, good or bad. We do that. We're focused and career-minded, but at the same time, we're damaging our health because of, well, a lot of stress, a lot of this internal turmoil to be better, do this better. Everyone's looking at me to do something wonderful with my life, and that stress can backfire. It can be motivating, it can help you achieve your goals, but also if you're not in balance, it backfires, and then you've got damage going on in your body, and you have the 5, what I call the annoying signs of brain impairment. Annoying, aggravating, because we will tolerate them without looking at the long-term consequences, because who wants to look that far ahead? It's human nature. We don't want to do things now. and we want things to happen quickly. Sorry, but we should treat our brains better than that and stop assuming that the autopilot is always going to be there. Our nervous system, yes, is our autopilot, but it deserves our tender loving care. It deserves attention. It deserves rest. It deserves recuperation time. It deserves a better way to move the brain, feed the brain, and talk to the brain. So I want you to make that commitment to yourself, because stress is intense, and we have to be just as intense with our health building practices. So become a brain snob. And how do you do that? Well, you watch these videos, you like them, you share them, you subscribe to them, and you also click on the bell so you get notifications. That can all be done in a click. You know, take your mouse or your mouse pad and just do it so quickly. Share it with your friends, because then you can really have a nice conversation going. Leave comments in the comment section as well. Go to createpurpose.com, the blog, and follow some other articles that I've posted. Watch the orientation video. And of course, get under chiropractic care. And if you don't live near me, get under chiropractic care with a chiropractor in your town. And become a brain snob so you are that positive ripple effect in the world. Thanks for watching.